All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LotroStream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/Lotro. I'm Lotro's community manager, Cordovan, and unfortunately I'm having some technical difficulties today, so I'm running late. I went and copied the live internal game client over so it was up to date, went to launch it, and someone in QA had accidentally put the wrong game client in our live folder here. So instead of having the live game client, I had the internal QA test server, which does not exactly do me any good in terms of getting able to get live with y'all today. So I'm currently working to get that fixed, but that means you're going to just have to put up with me talking for about 10 minutes. So sorry about that. I guess I can make myself bigger. Wow, I'm getting big. Hello, everybody. Druid's Fire, are you there? No? I don't know if fortunately, it sounds like Druid's Fire is having some tech issues on her own as well. But I will be ready to log into the worlds in approximately 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And counting. Hello, Val Grimley, Sam Burke, Haderb, Kanjal, Saint Joan, VS Avatar, CP of Landreval, Ponton, Tulin, Positively Evil, and everyone else here. Hope you're having a good Lotro weekend. Let me go through a couple of news and break some news here. Break two news here in just a second. So first off, this is the final full weekend of the Summer Festival. It gets shut off on Tuesday, July 17th at 3 a.m. Eastern, so essentially through Monday to get the Summer Festival. If you can't make it, we do have an encore of the Summer Festival starting at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern on August 9th, running through the 19th of August. So it will be coming back. If you're like, I don't have my stuff yet. But anyway, this might be a good weekend to get your stuff if you're into that. So hopefully that'll be okay for you. The other thing I could mention is that we are working on a patch, which is the reason why I'm having issues with my game client, because they copy-pasted the wrong thing into the wrong thing. Nonetheless, we've got a patch, update 22.4, set to most likely happen early next week. Could be Monday, could be Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll find out later this afternoon, depending on how things go in the internal QA environment. However, let's just assume it's going to be Monday for now, and let me get you a little bit of a sense of what's in it. It's a small patch, but a couple of significant things. So one bit is that Warden skills will now count as melee or range skills, and they will be enhanced by physical mastery. That is correcting a a short-standing but very significant bug with Warden skills that I know folks have been itching to hear about. We've added a tooltip to the rename button on the legendary items panel, added a tooltip to the legacy replacement button of the replace legacy panel. For questing, the plague cauldrons during Lareth the Stained encounter should no longer drop in combat and become NPCs if they are only attacked by one player and that player dies. Bad plague cauldrons, bad. That should be fixed. Kinship names will now be able to include diacritics. That's particularly of interest to, say, our German and French players who need to use diacritics. Well, I've also seen some Cyrillic comments. Hopefully, so kinship names will now, they will be able to include diacritics like umlauts and things above the letters and what have you. We're fixing the resize cursor not appearing in the French and German versions of the game. Oops. So that should be happening. Again, and then we have one significant thing we are considering, and I would love to get your feedback on it in chat today. Breaker Pet, sorry, Melissa. No, it's not on the agenda yet. What is on the agenda, though, is taking a significant step to potentially curb our gold selling spammer problem. We've already, that's been something that we've been working pretty hard at in recent weeks here. And I want, oh, hello, Danilo from Brazil. Nice to see you here. Mailing for Mithril is something that some players use, but not a lot of players. You know, we've run the numbers on it, and frankly, not a lot of y'all are using mailing for Mithril. Who is using a lot of mailing for Mithril are gold spammers and are people who do fraud and things like that. So, one of the things we are considering that I would love to hear your feedback on today is we are considering at least temporarily disabling mailing for Mithril. This would be part of our ongoing anti-spam and gold selling efforts, and we'll see what kind of impact that can have on preventing people from having their accounts get hijacked, preventing gold spam, preventing gold selling, things like that. So if you feel strongly about it, let me know in chat. I'd be curious to kind of see what your feedback is on that idea of perhaps temporarily disabling mailing for Mithril. We know some of you use it, but frankly not a lot of you use it. You know, the number of people using it is like this, and the number of gold spam going through it's like that. So it's something we're considering anyway. Mostly lifers use it. Okay. Make it so. Posit a nifty idea. Many of us mentioned that a long time back to get rid of that feature. Yep. This is in part, you know, one of the reasons we're considering is because we have heard from at least some of you that you would like to see that done. So. Can we add two-factor authentication? That is something that we are pursuing. It's going to take some time to do. Not on a corporate level. It involves contracts, you know, basically hiring a third party, then doing the integration on the engineering side of that. So I do think we'll be seeing that at some point in Lotro's future, but there's no ETA at this point about two-factor authentication. Spider Pet Nazgul robe for the Farmer's Fair. That's cool. I want the 4K UI upgrade done soon, VS Avatar. That's something, it's also on our agenda to do. It's in the bullet point list that our engineers have. They have a lot of work on their plate. But that is one of the things that is on their plate to hopefully work on. Am I live on Facebook? Yeah, I see myself on Facebook. So there we go. Love the hair. Why, thank you. Yeah. All right. Hey, so that's the other thing to see. So I've talked about the release notes here. I've mentioned the Summer Festival. I got one more thing that I'm going to be announcing here today. If you... Yes, I hear you. Just in time, Druid's Fire. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, everybody.
What was working? What was not working?
It's... new rig. It's still working out all the little bugs, so, but oh my god, it's so quiet.
You have a new computer.
I bought new toys.
Yeah. Very nice. All right, I'm actually ready to log into the game client now. So it says I have a Jesus style hair. You're not the first person to say that. I'm slowly looking like Aragorn. I'll take that as a compliment. Anyway, the other big announcement I have is if you are going to Gen Con, or if you reside close enough to the Indianapolis area that doing a thing is something that might be possible for you, you should set aside Friday, August 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern until 10 o'clock Eastern. Friday, August 3rd, 7 p.m. to 10 o'clock Eastern, and I'm going to be announcing that probably on the forums today. We are having a player meetup at Gen Con at a place called Social on McCree. It's if you have attended Gen Con in the past, or if you're in the Indianapolis area and you know where the Severin Bar is, like the hotel and bar, it's right near there. It's like within 500 feet of there. It's basically right on the corner between that and the Hideaway, if you're familiar with that, kind of right by the old train station thing there. So Friday, August 3rd, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. This is not just a Lotro meetup. This is a DDO meetup. Historically, if I'm pulling my Gen Con numbers correct, it tends to skew a little bit more DDO than Lotro. At least that's the way it was last year. And by the way, if you were there last year, yep, it's the same place. It is the place we met unofficially last year. Officially this year, we are renting the place out from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Yeah, I thought so too. And they're open and they were accommodating. They were willing to have, you know, let us fill up the place full of Lotro and DDO peeps. So, it is a cash bar. We're not going to pay to get you too drunk, in other words. So it is a cash bar. We are going to have historic swag. I'm driving to Gen Con, and part of the reason I'm driving to Gen Con is my car is going to be full of as many hoodies and sweaters and t-shirts and dice bags and other things that I can cram into it, and we'll be giving that stuff away at the player meetup. So it's all old stuff, but if it's new to you, then that might well be awesome to you. We are also going to be having, I know Tolero's going to be there, I will be there, I believe Severland's going to be there, and on top of that, we may even get a visit from one of our fine folks at Daybreak Games, our publisher. I've heard that the head honcho there, Jack, may actually be stopping by as well. So we might also
Seb's
have
boss,
some announcements. What was that?
That's Seb's boss, yeah?
I sort of,
yeah,
I
he
guess.
said that.
Yeah.
That's what Seb
It depends how
really
you want to
said
call
that.
it. So, yeah. Anyway, Friday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, August 3rd, Social on McCree. I'm going to drop the URL of the place into chat here. You do not need a Gen Con badge to attend. We are there and doing this because of Gen Con, because enough of us are going to be in the area, because we like to go, that we're able to make this happen. But it's not a Gen Con specific event. It's just a hangout event in the Indianapolis area on the big Friday night of Gen Con. So.
Should be good times.
Tree Fort Maniac, I thought you were driving so you couldn't get drunk there. Actually, I don't actually drink alcohol. Not anymore, so.
Well, here's a question. Would it be possible for somebody to, I don't know, live stream it to Twitter or something so people who can't attend can still kind of participate?
Theoretically, that's possible. I mean, I don't know what the Wi-Fi or cell signal is going to be. And I know that, you know, a lot of it is, frankly, people hanging out and talking. So I don't know how interested just kind of random folks are interested in having their mugs on the internet. But yeah, I mean, we could do something. It's particularly, I know you'll probably be there, and if you can set something up, we could easily chat for a little bit, either on Lotro Stream here or your own channel or whatever works out best for you.
I wasn't volunteering, but I guess I kind of did.
Yeah, you just totally did. So.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's ample revenge for last week, me volunteering you to go run that instance, and it was more of a train wreck than I knew it was going to be a train wreck. It was worse than I thought it was. So, but it was
Nice.
great. You know, we had Corey come in and hang out with you.
Is that guy always popping out of the barrel? Yeah, it's just a fun little kind of animation one of our peeps put together for me for the summer festival here. I just thought it was kind of funny. We need to go to have a European meetup. I'm down. I've never been to Europe. I've never really been out of the United States, unfortunately. Anyway, can you get me Kyrain, Druid's Fire? Why don't we actually do a little non-Summerfest questing just so that we can make a little progress here. So I'm down to forward of the Epic Volume 2 Prologue. Yeah, yep. Epic Volume 2 Prologue. So why don't we do some of that stuff?
Let's port to Rivendell and ride it back from there.
Yeah. I've never been out of the U.S. except for Canada, but I lived in Minnesota, so it kind of didn't count. Actually, I've been to Toronto once because I got to interview Ed Greenwood for a Dungeons & Dragons Online thing, and that was way cool. But are we just going to Elrond's house? Are we going somewhere else?
Nope.
No?
We're going back to where we were before. There's just no convenient port to it.
Oh, okay. So, I've been to Peterborough. in Canada?
Last time I went to Canada, I turned Niagara Falls blue.
Nice. But I've never been outside of the U.S. otherwise. I'd love to. I even have a passport. I'm all ready to go. I just have never had an opportunity, unfortunately. So,
You need to make
yes,
an opportunity.
I am down for hanging out with you in Europe. I am down in terms of not paying for it. But otherwise, I'd love to.
It's fun. I also got to see Shakespeare in Stratford-on-Avon in Ontario. It was really cool.
Nice. Speaking of, by the way, in terms of that Canada thing, I used to go canoeing and hiking in the Boundary Waters of northern Minnesota, if you know where that is, and it crosses into Canada. So, back in the kind of pre-9/11 days, you could just walk across. It was fine. Haven't tried since, so I assume it's not quite so easy.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Can we get a Bjorning in a barrel? That's pretty funny. This was, we do have a dwarf in a barrel kind of cosmetic here. That's why they made it up. They had the assets, and I was just like, can you just, like, animate that and get me as a transparent video file? And one of them was like, yeah, I could do that. So they did it for fun. We do actually some marketing, Mr. Alexman 13P, but I hear you. We actually have got plans to continue to do that as we roll out, say, the Grey Mountains and other things in the future.
I'm looking forward to that new update and seeing what y'all have.
Yep. Can we get T2C instance content instead of Perfect Picnic? Well, so Perfect Picnic was, along with Thrang, was something new that we wanted to debut with the Summer Festival. A lot of our events are pretty popular. They tend to have a positive impact on logins and things. And we wanted to offer something different by having seasonal instances there. So hopefully, if enough of you enjoy it, and it seems like enough of you do, we'll be doing more of this kind of thing for future events. Now that's a separate discussion rather than T2C instance content. And we actually have been kind of discussing, ways to further offer challenge in some of our instances in the future. That might be a little bit different than T2C, but would essentially be that plus. So stay tuned. Hopefully, we haven't committed to anything on that yet, but there have been some internal discussions in that regard to offer perhaps a little bit more variability and challenge to help people do more specifically what they would like to do. I can't announce new seasonal instances for future festivals, but I will say that so far the feedback to both Thrang and Perfect Picnic has been positive, especially, say, some of the people who like that T2C, kind of stuff have been appreciating the little bit more combat-oriented challenge of Thrang, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see more of that sort of thing in the future.
Didn't Seb say that there was going to be a follow-up to last year's Bingo Bothan thing?
Yeah, that is absolutely going to happen. At the very least, that's pretty much guaranteed.
Because, of course, it's always fun to have Maid of Lions cackling evilly in the office.
I think he may have already done the work, and it's just a matter of the time isn't there yet. But I could be wrong about that, so... If we are rebalancing classes, don't touch captains except for DPS. Okay. Don't nerf my OP thing. Okay. We'll do our best. Obligatory repeat of my typical PVMP answer for the week. We are working on class rebalancing, and that is iterative work. And when that work is nearing completion, we will better be able to balance creep side at that time. No ETA to announce, but we are aware that our creeps would like us to do that work, and we want to do that work in a fairly comprehensive way that will hopefully resolve issues rather than be temporary band-aids while we work on this class balance and dedicate the resources to this class balance. So I hear ya. Sorry you're having a frustrating time, and it is on our agenda to fix, but we really do want to get that classwork done first, because everything we do for that Free People's classwork is going to impact that balance.
You can't put the cart before the horse.
I am not sure when Bull Roar is next going to be open again. You know, where did you just go? Okay. As you heard, if you tuned in early on, and I kind of briefly went through the release notes for 22.4, it's a very small kind of patch. It didn't make a lot of sense to have a Bull Roar for it. But after 22.4 is most likely going to be update 23, and 23 most certainly will have...
What do you need?
I'm seeing Book 11, Chapter 7 on that one.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm seeing it too, but I haven't talked to him. I think you did last time.
Yeah, okay. So I would say the next Bull Roar is probably going to be the first preview of Update 23. I don't know if I want to commit to saying that Bjorning will be fixed before the end of the year. It really depends on what our systems folks have on their plate and what they're able to get done. I would love to see that happen, but I don't have a commitment in terms of a calendar to definitively say that in a way that, you know, you could mark on your calendar and hold me to. Captain is the most balanced class in the game. It doesn't need to be changed. Cool. All right. Clearly, Vastin and crew have a better handle on the intricacies of class balance than I do. So I would hope that they would agree with you on that. Certainly, being in balance is a good thing. Any news on when the next update is going to be released? Update 23? No. Other than later this summer is really all I can commit to there. The next game update could be as soon as Monday, and that would be update 22.4. Oops. Oh, I'm still in healing spec here. Alright, let me switch back to dissonance.
I see
No,
healing.
my buttons are
and...
wrong.
You say healing, I put it in air quotes for you.
Nice. Champions are still ignored by raid leaders and useless in the Abyss raid. Oh, clearly we have ends of a spectrum that are speaking up here on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay, you're in red sense. Did you switch your traits as well? I didn't see.
No, I didn't switch my traits. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Ethan, shout out to my soon-to-be wife, Glory May. Hello, Glory May. Congratulations. Whoever said that thing about champs, you wrong. Champs and my kin are parsing more than rune keepers. Okay. Where did you go? I'm sorry, I was paying attention to chat, not you, so.
I was following the path back.
Okay. Yes, Friedalus. Loot box changes. The loot box page that has long been promised is actually happening. Was it right before I went on vacation this week? By the way, I've been on vacation this week. I got approvals from our legal team to make a few tweaks and then publish it. So those tweaks have been made, and it has been submitted for localization. They're a little busy working on update 22.4 notes and things like that, but it is on the agenda. And as soon as that stuff gets back, I am going to update. I'm going to basically publish the page and then get it out to you. So my guess is we're talking within a couple of weeks, maybe even sooner. Basically, if it doesn't happen, if I don't get it back before Gen Con, then I'm going to have to wait till after Gen Con, because I'm a busy guy right now. Yes, we are still committed to doing it. It's on the agenda. Now it's actually been signed off on, and so we are all but ready to go.
Trying to find where we're supposed to be.
I did see there was... Oh no, I guess we uncovered that path.
Yeah. I will tell you that I really hate these I'm not really showing 3D on maps sort of maps that y'all have in this content. It drives me nuts. It's a really short drive.
I hear you. So that's a tech issue, obviously. Basically an old engine issue. See, I keep on... Muscle memory keeps on having me heal myself rather than attack things.
Well, you can't just switch to redline. You in your stances, you also have to switch to redline in your traits. I think you, if I recall correctly, you actually wound up overwriting your traits last time.
Yeah. I did it wrong.
Imagine me holding my finger up in the shape of an L on the forehead, Jerry.
I know, yeah.
It's okay. Hunter's OP. So we still need to find the way in. I'm sure chat has great. It's like, go over here. And Southern Belle is doing her usual fine stand-up job.
Yep, I appreciate that. You know, class balance in particular tends to be hot topic material, and people tend to get into fairly heated debates over it. But please, do not insult each other. I'm tempted to say we need to take a right here. Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to find the southwest room, so I was looking on the map to see where a southwest room would be, and it should be down this path. But I'm looking for like a door or something. I'm thinking like
right,
labyrinth is where.
Is this the same guy?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
So who are we looking for, actually?
We're not looking for anyone. We're looking for a southwest room. If you look at the quest tracker, it's saying go find the southwest room in this thing, but I haven't found a path that gets us to the right level. It's either above us or below us, but the map doesn't actually show.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. I'm not seeing this southwest room thing.
What you're saying? Talk to the dude. You may have. Did you already go in?
Are we talking about Book 11, Chapter 7?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've got talk to Laventhyr, investigate Aaron Singer with Laventhyr, investigate Delasad with Muildir.
Oh, you're gonna hate Delosid. But no, mine. I have a separate quest that says, "Find the Southwest Ruin Bar Ethercure." So when you found this last time, like a month ago or whatever, did you actually come in here?
I don't remember doing that.
You know what? I think it
But,
is.
it's possible.
You know what? I think I know what it is. Is when we beat the one guy in the Southwest room, I didn't go far enough and it didn't trigger the location. Hang on.
Ah, okay.
That's exactly how my server lost the take Sapiens to the other end of Moria challenge when we used to do those. But speaking of taking Sapiens places, the Department of Homeland Security is taking him to Isengard on the 28th as our usual annual anniversary. And everybody's welcome to join us on Landreval. Starts at noon at the Prancing Pony, and they're going to perform a concert. We'll have fun.
Speaking of things happening on Landreval, Weatherstock 10 is coming up a little bit later this month, as unfortunately I am super busy when during the weekend of Weatherstock 10. If they would ever move to August just for me, it would make me a happy camper. But the reality is I'm not going to be there. So, do you know, Druid's Fire, are you planning to do some streaming? I know some Lotro streamers have been talking a little bit about it, but do we really have much to say on that front?
I'm going to be streaming it, the whole thing.
You're going to be streaming the whole thing all 3 days on Lotro stream?
Weatherstock is a one-day event, Sunshine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's 10 to 6 on the 21st.
And you'll be streaming that on Lotro stream?
Yep.
Very
McVie and
cool.
Pence signed off. Balviel is going to sign off, and Stefala will probably sign off too.
Okay, great.
I'm stealing your channel, Jerry. Sorry.
No, that sounds awesome. Like I say, I can't make it that weekend. It's my final weekend with my son before he has to go back.
My
his
favorite
mother's.
demolitions expert.
Yeah. So what, that's the, I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. That's the 21st, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it did actually trigger when I went and actually got up in that guy's face. See, that's what you gotta do. You gotta actually, because being hunter and you hit from range, it doesn't trigger the actual thing, so we can get back downhill.
Hey, the Martini. Nice to see you.
Hype!
Yeah.
My favorite PAX East roomie of years past.
Just bug the instruments so that they are forced to move the date. That would be cruel. I like it. We're going to have quiet time in Lotro. There will be no music while everyone takes a nap until August.
I think the dwarves would revolt, but then they are pretty revolting sometimes.
Beligar, how can you get a Tundra Cub? We give them away pretty frequently here on Lotro stream. We also do them for like giveaways, things like that. And my guess is you'll be, I mean, I could very well get you a whole stack of them for Weatherstock here to give away. So stay tuned, Beligar. We should have one pretty soon here. So. And then I also do them for Extra Life donations, typically.
Ding!
Any news about raids? Any news about Runekeepers? Not much to say about Runekeepers. We are planning to do a raid later this year. Similar to what we did with Mordor, Update 23 is going to be coming out, and then afterwards, in one of the point updates, we'll debut a raid with it. At least I'm pretty sure that's the case.
If not, you'll hear about it.
Yeah. You promised. No, I think that's the case, though.
Currently tentatively slated until you hear otherwise.
Yeah.
So there's a little fun quest you can do down here. Hey, we're not on a quest, but there's a lovely story quest that you can do here eventually.
Ah, cool.
But we're not going there.
We're going to Delosid.
Going across the river.
I try to keep up on all 3 chats, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. It's not always easy, but
Might you spare a moment
try.
of your time?
You're gonna hate this place.
Yeah? Why will I hate it?
Oh, you'll find out.
Darn those pretty trees. I hate beauty. No, kidding. Okay, let's see. There is even a thread SSG has promised several times. Okay. Okay.
Barafunda! Welcome.
Bummer Runekeepers are not getting work now. I'm not really saying that that is true. You know, I don't want to really commit in terms of a order of operations on class balance because a lot of it is iterative and is going to be released when it's ready. So,
My heart cannot
I mean, it's
sing
one.
today.
It is on the list of things to do, but I don't have a good. Good ETA on a specific class. Yeah, so Tellurian, I think, you know, ultimately it depends on your feedback in terms of how much more of this sort of seasonal instant stuff we do. But so far the feedback has been pretty positive. So I think as we look toward introducing new content in our other events throughout the year, we will very much so, where did you go? We will very much so be keeping an eye out for opportunities to perhaps do more of this sort of thing.
Sammy 2002 wants to know why your dwarf isn't shirtless.
That's
That's
a good
because there's a
question.
rating for this for the show.
Uh,
Or nobody can withstand that awesome, so you do it to
yeah, I don't know why my dwarf isn't shirtless. Perhaps I should be doing that. But I like my armor I've got on right now. I like his look. We do not sell the Standing Stone Games logo t-shirt. At this point, there are basically one-off orders that we're doing. Well, there's really 2 versions of it. The first iteration was actually done in-house by one of our artists who happened to have screen printing materials on hand. And then we paid to have you know, a short order done for employees. Potentially in the future, we can actually make these offerable, whether it be through some kind of marketplace or something like that. But those talks are ongoing, and we haven't really looked into it in a couple of months now. But as of a couple months ago, it would have to go through kind of some approvals and legal and all that sort of thing. But there's nothing really stopping us from doing it, other than the things I just mentioned. So potentially we could have offer a Standing Stone Games t-shirt, that sort of thing. I don't know that a lot of people would be interested in it, but I bet a few of you might. Now, Lotro swag, that's a different story. We could actually, we do have merchandising rights for Lotro, so it's just really a matter of contractual and other obligations that have kind of gummed up the works on that for a long time now. But theoretically, we'd like to do something around that too someday. Ah, my poor horsey.
I went too far and jumped in the river.
Do we keep track of, say, in this particular case, the Captain Subform full of bugs and possible issues? Yeah, we do keep a very close eye on that. I know, well, I mean, I do. I look at that stuff multiple times a day. But also, Vastin, I know, has been keeping an eye on the class forums, and we very much do read those forums and threads. Ouch. Is there a way to avoid paying the 27% tax of your country? Ouch. That's a lot of tax. I don't have anything to offer, I'm sorry. I've got a rotted diary. Candleth.
Back up the hill.
Oh, is that Sir Oakhart's diary? That's interesting. Okay.
No spoilers, peeps. He hasn't done this content yet. Which is why I can get away with taking you to Angmar and running you past the pretty death statues.
Am I aware of the bug where heat is spawning outside of Middle Earth 2? I mean, it's all over the news. Please patch in real life ASAP. Nice. Oh my gosh, it has been so hot. We finally had a break in the heat wave. I guess it was really last weekend, and it's pretty much been okay here since then. But man, last week was just insane. I mean, in regard to physical swag, I think the reality is, you know, we are certainly not prepared to do printing and fulfillment and shipping of t-shirts in-house here. Brought 2 chickens to share with L, but his spirits were low, and I think the food brought him no joy. Understandable, of course. Keeping N within the walls of Sithid must be great sorrow to him. Whoever Sarah Oakhart may have been, a Marthiel in disguise or not, it is plain to me of whom she speaks. Can L be any other than Lairden, or N anything but Narkiel? We are close. I can feel it. The secret lies within this journal, friend. Dwarf, the diary of Sarah Oakhart.
You should read the diary. It's actually pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Dear diary, he is so dreamy. Why won't he look at me? Oh, I'm kidding.
Have you looked in a mirror lately?
All right. Looking for some keys. A very common activity in the Jerry Snook household.
Looking for your keys?
Yep.
Okay, who hides them more often, your kid or your cat?
Neither. I have a place where I keep my keys so I don't forget where they are, except that I don't put them there and then I forget where they are.
Oh, you dingaling.
I know, right?
I did that too, but I actually remembered to put my keys where they're supposed to be.
I really can't spoil more about the Update 23 instance content. I'm sorry. We'll just kind of have to wait till we get a little bit closer to that and see it on Bulwer and such. I can't divulge secrets at this point.
Secrets.
Well, thank you very much, Irwin, for joining us here. Would I not look at chat and I look where I am going? Where am I going? Okay, I'm swimming.
Going back into that place that I told you you're gonna hate.
Okay. Hockey jerseys. We did them for Sons of Numenor, and they look epic. So I recently listened to a podcast that recently did hockey jerseys, and the thing about them is, man, they're expensive. Which actually kind of gets to the point I was saying. So since we are not in a position personally to do like order fulfillment and shipping, that means we're going to have to go through, if this is to happen, where we'll have to do it through some kind of vendor, whether it's just throwing a name out there like a Cafe Press or Zazzle or something like that. And that does mean that the cost of these things is going to be perhaps a little higher than otherwise. But we're not really doing it to make a bunch of profit on our end. It would really be more of a promotional thing. But even then, I think that, you know, we're not looking at a $10 t-shirt here. I found a box of broken keys buried beneath a leafy bush.
I'm still looking for my box keys.
It's not, in Killeen, we're just speculating about what it would take to actually do physical swag for Lotro, should we be in a position to do it. But no, it's not going to be happening anytime soon. I have this voodoo doll in, forget I mentioned that, nice.
The next time I pull your ponytail, Jerry.
Yeah. We need to release the game for Nintendo Switch. That would be funny.
Yeah.
I really don't know how realistic a proposal that is. I think it's not very, but I'm down. Yeah. The Switch doesn't actually have a lot of memory. So some people are kind of posting a little bit of kind of exploity type behavior in chat. Thanks for letting me know.
The correct way to report an exploit is to document it and send it in a PM, or put it in a, help.standingstonegames.com so it can be addressed appropriately by customer service. i.e. no callouts on the forums, please.
Oh, I'm totally lost again. Where am I going?
Back up the hill.
Yep. Don't get used to any animation canceling tricks that you may learn. That's not something we're going to support, so.
What can I do for you?
Okay. Looks like we're heading to Imladris. Can you port us there?
Sure can. Sandberg has the right of it just because you know an exploit. And it's one of those open secrets. Please don't just blab it out in chat because announcing an exploit is just as bad as doing it yourself.
Yep. So just to speak in general terms, someone is saying, how could animation cutting be an exploit? It's, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not as bad as, say, like a duplication exploit or something like that. But clearly, the idea that you can cancel animations to improve things and get around cooldowns and things like that is not intended gameplay behavior. I think in terms of when we would address something like that would be when we'd have an opportunity to do so. I don't know that it's, huge on our list of priorities in many cases, but it's certainly not working as intended.
So now that everybody is aware it's not intended behavior, please don't do it. That's simple.
How can I be of service?
And I know that works in absolutely no cases whatsoever.
Or do it if you want to, but don't be prepared to face the consequences. And don't complain on the forums when we get rid of it. I don't have any updates to the 64-bit client, sorry. Alright, where are we collecting coveted gems? In the high pass, high in the misty mountains,
All
northeast
the
of
way in
Rivendell.
Goblin Town.
Okay, yep.
So we're going to take a swift travel up to Hrimbarg. Because unfortunately, I don't think I have the port for it on this character.
So, there's been some healthy debate in my comments about animation cutting. I'm not saying, we're going to start sending out armies of GMs to start banning people for animation cutting. I'm just saying it's not working as intended. And it might well be something we'd fix if we have an opportunity to.
I like this lady, Christiana, with her kin named Gallifreyan Conspiracy.
What can I do for you?
Swift travel to Hrimbarg.
Oh, Hrimbarg? Okay.
Actually, I might just want to hang out here because this will take a while to do the next step.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. We've got about 4 minutes here. I need to get release notes done and send them out for localization, so there we go. When will the next update be, and will the first locations continue to improve? The next update will be update 23. That's later this summer. The next technical game update is actually going to be early next week, and that'll be update 22.4. Really just a handful of bug fixes, and I think we're refreshing a few things in the Gorgoroth Steelbound loot boxes. Will the first locations continue to improve? Potentially. Stay tuned for more information about that, but that is absolutely something that, you know, we got a lot of positive feedback on our work so far on doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see more of that kind of thing in the future. If we change the way animations work, so many people will quit, someone on YouTube says. I mean, you know, let's be real here. We're probably not going to fix every animation in the game. It's not even on our agenda. It's only being discussed because it got brought up in chat here. Will mini light classes healing be adjusted upwards? The nerf was a bit severe. I actually have not heard of plans to adjust it upwards. I know it had been in a state of imbalance for a pretty long time. And so bringing it back into a reasonable state certainly was pretty harsh to people who were just kind of used to one-button healing. That said, if we hear enough public feedback that we really do need to adjust it upward, make that case and on the forums. And if we can get enough people behind it, maybe we can see some activity there. We do not time out anyone who speaks about T2C content next, Chris. I'm sorry. If you're being rude on the forums or on the chat, you may get timed out. But I'm fine with talking about T2C content. I just don't have a lot to say about it right now. We will be doing more things in the future. Are Bjorn going to be looked at soon? I'm not sure what the agenda is in terms of the next. I know that several things are being worked on at once, and as things get into a state of readiness, they will be released. I'm going to say that I do not think Bjorning in terms of a comprehensive overhaul is next, but it is on the agenda. Cutting animations is a basic mechanic of every MMO.
Nope, that is incorrect
I don't
information.
think so either, but, you know, perhaps some people do it. Certainly not intended behavior in MMOs.
No developer I've ever spoken to
Yeah.
that was intended behavior.
Yes,
And
please.
I know a lot of developers.
Bypass our mechanisms to avoid cooldowns that are there for a reason. I don't think you'll hear that too often, but... should we have a regular place on the forums to answer world-building related questions directly? That's an interesting idea, Nangerwine, Lotro. Something perhaps I can consider. I don't know that the world team really wants me to commit them to spending a lot of time answering questions rather than building worlds, but having a dedicated place to talk about, say, world-related feedback is certainly not a bad idea.
Can you drop hints as to the next place scenario's working on?
No, I can't.
Dang it!
No.
I tried, chat. I tried. believe it's time for you to go get some pizza.
I think it is too. I'm just checking things. So just real quick again, if you missed the start of the show, we have got update 22.4 set for probably early next week. Depends how things go this afternoon. Stay tuned for some downtime and release notes on that. If you are going to be in the Indianapolis area on Friday, August 3rd, we are doing a player meetup for both Lord of the Rings Online and Dungeons and Dragons Online. That'll be at Social on McCree, and we'll be having an announcement on the forums real soon about that as well. That's from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday, August 3rd. All right, and also, this is the final weekend for the Summer Festival. We have through Monday. It'll be turned off Tuesday at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope you've been enjoying the Summer Festival. Hope you've been enjoying Court of the Rings here. Thank you very much for all your questions and feedback. I very much appreciate it. I will see you next Friday right here. This afternoon, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. I believe Corey's on, you're on, Druid's Fire, and a whole bunch of other folks will be on as well. You can find the full schedule over on the Twitch page. Have fun, everyone, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.